what do you think the original purpose of the pyramids aim to serve?
Well, the idea of it is when you see a pyramid, you're actually seeing an octahedron. It's not just a pyramid. We visualize the pyramids as a symbol of power going up, but in the ancient times, nobody went up a pyramid. They were all in the pyramid. So that gives you a clue that the idea is not to reach God above, is to reach God within. So every pyramid has been built in order for you to access the core of it. So it's an octahedron, not a pyramid. And a pyramid actually means fire. So it's the fire in the middle.
An octahedron's like a different shape, though. I don't understand. Why is it an octahedron?
Octahedron is a pyramid above and a pyramid below.
Oh, okay.
If you have those two pyramids together,
Like
the reflection of it...
Like a star tetrahedron, kind of with like a Merkaba shape almost?
No. It's a pyramid.
Okay.
You see a pyramid.
Yeah.
So put the ground and you see the pyramid. Now reflect it.
Okay.
Under, that's an octahedron.
Got it.
Eight triangular faces.
Got it.
So you reflect it. Okay. So if you have water in the horizon, you can see the pyramid like this. So that's how you are supposed to see a pyramid. Like there is another one under, which are the chambers and tunnels that go under, that reflects the pyramid, which actually is not just a fire up, it's the fire between, it's the fire in the middle. Pyramide. So in that, which is pyros, which is fire, and miden, which is middle. So in the fire in the middle is actually an octahedron. When you expand the octahedron, each one of the triangles, you make a tetrahedron from each one of the faces, you have a Merkaba. So when you connect the dots of the Merkaba, you have an hexahedron, which is a cube. When you open the faces of the hexahedron, you have a dodecahedron. So you make like houses around. So you have a dodecahedron, and when you connect all the dots of the dodecahedron, you have an icosahedron. So actually, what you do inside of a pyramid is accessing the entire network of creation. So there's octahedron, hexahedron, through tetrahedrons, dodecahedron, icosahedron. So the purpose of the pyramids is to become God in the center. The idea was to become one with God when you are born, when you recognize your power, when you build yourself, and when you die. So the people that were able to enter the pyramids were there in order to prepare themselves to access all the network of consciousness, so the main structures of the universe. And so the pyramids became the seats of the tree of life. You have every octahedron is like a seat. So every pyramid is like a seat from the stars on the ground, so you can access the network of those stars. So you go to the Great Pyramid and you access the information of Mintaka, which is the star, one of the stars in Orion's belt. So you access the information of Orion and so on. So every temple, every star around the planet, it's a seed of the tree of life, which is the icosahedron, and all the roots on the top, and the roots and the branches of the tree of life, which is this spherical shape of the tree. And in the center, you have this little seed that created the whole thing. And that's a pyramid.
And so you go into, for example, the king's chamber like we did, and whatever that box is, some people call it a sarcophagus, but it doesn't really look like that.
Yeah.
So becoming God, realizing like unity with God, what do you think they were actually doing in there? And like what can we remember about that time and the purpose that they serve?
Well, in order to access all the geometry of the creation, you have to remember that the creation is basically waves. So electrons, protons, mainly electrons, they behave as particles in this reality, but if you are not watching them, they behave as waves, which means that matter, the reality, only exists because we are observing it. If we don't observe it, we feel it. So it's a wave. It's a whoop, whoop. So it's like a wave of frequency. So what the Atlanteans did was, what are the waves that manifest those particles in a net? So what they did was, okay, we have an octahedron has 8 faces and 1 core. So that means that there are 9 sounds that helps you to access the entire thing. The Indians call it Om. But actually it's not Om. It's It's like 9 vowels. So it's 9 vowels that actually are creating the shape. So when you sing the song, you access the wave. When you see the shape, you access the particle. So if we are particles now, imagine that, for example, an instrument, a piano, a guitar. So you have a string, and you have one side here and the other side here, and you have to tune those sides. So imagine that each one of the sides is a particle or a planet or a star. So how do you reach from here to here? You cannot move this planet here and move it here or travel all the way. The way to connect them is to tune one of them and make the chord. So the vibration reaches both particles at the same time, which is the quantum reality. So it doesn't matter where you are, by frequency, you access every planet or star. So what they did was to figure out which were the frequencies and sounds that connects every particle in the universe. So when you lay down there and you find the right frequency with your own nose that vibrates the pineal, it activates the pineal gland, the hypophysis gland, or pituitary, as most people know it, and they start to resound and vibrate. The structure of the pyramids resound the same sound to you, towards you, so it creates an echo constantly, and suddenly your brain starts to interpret that you are not in a sarcophagus, you are like floating in water, and suddenly the chamber becomes stars, and you suddenly are levitating in the middle of the cosmos when you reach the right sound. So the particles become waves, and you start to accessing the same song in Jupiter, in Orion, in all the particles that are connected to the same particles that you have in your body. They connect with these other places. So it's like a time-space travel machine in which you don't have to actually go anywhere. You become everywhere. Yeah. That's a way to put it.
Yeah, it was great. I love that. And my experience laying down, and if you want to call it the sarcophagus in the King's Chamber, when finding that resonance, was it feels like an engine starting or something. It's like when you hit the right note, whether you're humming or you just kind of find that right resonance, like the feedback of the chamber is like, it shakes, it like vibrates your whole body. There's also the like small little tunnel right before the King's Chamber. There's this little area where you stand up.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And that one also is like even more intense. It was so...
That's a preparation. That's a tuning before you get in.
Yeah.
You have to tune yourself before. Yeah.
So it's basically like you crawl through this like fairly small hole to get into the King's Chamber. In between there's an area where you can stand up fully vertically, and you could just like Om, and the whole thing just like, you feel your whole body and being just completely vibrating with that too, which is just wild to experience. So I hope everybody gets to experience it, because it's
and you kind of, if you do it right, you kind of disappear. You suddenly feel like you are just vibration, and your body you stop feeling your body, you stop feeling your mind, and you're just vibration. So that prepares you to get inside the chamber and actually expand to any dimension. But yeah, so that's basically the idea of a pyramid, to become the everything.